Okay, folks, going to talk about Prince Namor, the Submariner today. That happens to be the enemy of the movie Wakanda Forever, which has just come out. And I was interested to see at first when they cast Tena Huerta in the role of Namor, because he is more of a dark-skinned Mexican guy, and Namor has been traditionally depicted as more of a lily white male, with dark hair. But who cares? I mean, that's the kind of thing where it's like, they're doing the same thing with Simon Williams, Wonder Man. Apparently, there's going to be a black man who plays Simon Williams. I mean, these are like, who cares kinds of things. I mean, it's not the race of the person that matters. It is the personality. It is what that person brings to the role in terms of who the character is. And I feel the same way about Namor. What I didn't know was that they didn't just alter his look for the movie, they altered his name for the movie. Namor is no longer pronounced Namor, it's Namor. And when I looked up an article on that, it turns out that Victoria Alonso from Marvel has explained that his name is not actually his real name, it's what his enemies call him, and it's a shorthand for a Spanish phrase that means the son without love, the boy child without love. And so Namor contracted basically means no love. And that's a contrast also to Marvel, who not only has pronounced it Namor, but has also defined it as meaning avenging son, which kind of made sense in terms of Namor's context. He was avenging the Atlanteans who were affected by the atomic bomb drops that were tested in the ocean, all of the pollution in the environment. Basically, he was avenging them against the surface dwellers. And so there's a little bit of that environmentalism that has layered into Wakanda Forever. I don't know very much about the movie because I try and keep myself from knowing as much as I can about movies before I go see them. But it does look like that these environmental themes, which are consistent with the character, are going to appear. But one of the things that just gets me is this need to change his name. Because one of the things that Marvel has said about Namor in Wakanda Forever is that he represents the voice of the colonized. And yet, in taking a lot of ancient Aztec, South American kind of lore and applying it to him. For example, his actual name, the name that his people give him, although I don't know if it's his real name, given name, or if that's just a name that they give him as a kind of a nickname to bolster their confidence in his abilities, they call him Akukutlan. Akukutlan is something that means feathered serpent, and that applies to the wings on his feet. So that's actually kind of a clever thing, but they're putting, that's one of the ancient Aztec gods, is Cucutlan. And so they've taken Namor and they put him into this kind of, I don't even know what to call it, ancient South American setting, and turned him into something that Marvel never made him. They've basically taken this character who had no South American connotations whatsoever, and they've placed a South American stamp on him, not only in the actor who plays him and the way his name is pronounced, but also the other names that he's been given and how he's seen and how he's dressed. I think the way that he's dressed in the movie is more towards the traditional, Aztec style or things like that. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, he's the voice of the colonized, because they colonized the hell out of this character. They took a character that was supposed to be this Atlantean tradition with they were mostly blue-skinned alien, or not aliens, but another species of humanity under the sea, and they've turned it and they've made it South American as hell. It's almost like they took South America and just stamped on him until they're like, your name is not Namor anymore. What's your name? And broke him until he said Namor. They may as well have called him Toby. because famously after they stamped out Kunta Kinte's name. I mean, they took this character and they put this South American stamp on him until he was ground under their boot. I mean, there's this serious sense of lack of self-awareness and irony from Marvel's point that they could just take this character that is one of Marvel's first characters of prominence. I mean, the Human Torch, meaning the android, not the member of the Fantastic Four, but the Human Torch and Prince Namor are like the first superheroes that ever came out of Marvel Comics. And my God, to just see him treated this way and to have his property taken and basically turned into this icon of South American ancient lore is really, I mean, that's a wild ride to get there. And it just seems like they don't even know really what they're doing. The only other problem that I have with this altogether is, and it may wind up working. It may wind up working just fine for the movie, and this character Namor, as opposed to the Namor that we expected to see from the comics, may turn out to be a character who's just fine for this movie and for Marvel going forward. I don't mind when Marvel tries new things like this, but the fact that when he's announcing the name that his people are calling him, they call him Akukutlan, you can't help but think they call him Captain Cuckoo? and that's kind of a problem, because you don't want your enemy, you don't want the guy who you're supposed to be scared from, to be scared of, to be something to laugh at. I mean, this was one of the major problems when George Lucas did Attack of the Clones. The opening scroll goes by, and you're looking at the screen, and all of a sudden you find out that the people that the Jedi or the person that the Jedi are going to be fighting is Count Dooku. And that was around the time that I think Limp Bizkit had made the term or Green Day had made the term Dookie popular because of their album's name. And so when people saw Count Dooku, they were like, did George Lucas just call his main villain Count Shit? And people in the theater laughed. And it became impossible to take that movie seriously from that point forward. And that same thing's going to happen here. You're going to hear Namor say, my people call me Kukudan, and you're like, they call you Captain Cuckoo. How am I supposed to be scared of you after that? Oh God! So Marvel has broken kind of a basic rule of storytelling there, which is don't make your villain something worthy of being laughed at. Oh, and by the way, George Lucas continued that into Revenge of the Sith when he gave General Grievous an asthmatic cough. Oh Lord, those movies. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. It's just ironic as hell that you have this character who is complaining about colonization, who basically had the hell colonized out of him. And maybe that's a theme of the movie. Maybe that's the fact that, hey, my people call me a Kukutlan, and I'm not really digging that, but, hey, that's the lore that we were given to use. We lost our own lore when you humans stamped on us and stamped out our lore and replaced it with your own. Who knows, Maybe that's why he prefers the name Namor. All right, I'm Mike Bartica. Thanks for watching, and hey, if you go and watch the movie, keep an open mind, give it a chance. Don't condemn it automatically just because they've taken so many liberties with the characters. When you look at the characters that Marvel took from their baseline to make the Avengers and all that, they took a lot of liberties there as well. I mean, my goodness, just look at how many liberties Spider-Man No Way Home took with the basic Peter Parker lore and the whole, where did with great power comes great responsibility comes from. I mean, they're playing with things all over the map, and not all of them are things you're going to like. Some of them turned out to be just fine. I mean, having Iron Man be known to the world turned out to be just fine. So, give it a chance. Don't ever pre-reject a movie because you've learned that it's not going to be what you expect. Sometimes they actually manage to come up with something better than what you expect. So, I'm Mike Bartica. Thanks again for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you later.